Hey guys and girls, welcome back if you're not new. Yeah, I've just been in the shower as you can see because, remember to shower. Yeah, I was just at the gym, but it's Q&A time and I have collected a few questions which I'm gonna read up, right now, and I just give you an explanation of what I think. So I just start from the end, from the first one I got. Some people may have answered more times, but I'm gonna say the person's name. So yeah, and also thank you very much for 1,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. It's crazy. From Biddy Bat 9548 asked, what made you get into doing art? With a question mark. And the thing that made me, get into doing art overall was just most kids, I think you can remember this from yourself if you're a young adult or just an adult, I guess. There's a lot of drawing in the, in your small years. I guess it's an easy thing to do and it's pretty fun and it doesn't mean anything and you're kind of bad but you don't really understand that you're bad. So yeah, I did a lot of drawing. I guess my parents liked the fact that I was drawing because I didn't like sports. Not that I didn't like being active, I just didn't like team sports. They just suck. Let's try to get my hair right. So I got to do another thing, which wasn't looking at the iPad, which is like a usual thing most kids do now, but I drew a lot and I like drawing, and the reason I continued to draw and became more serious about it was because I was just a little bit better than the average person, like by this much better, which means that I would always get compliments from friends and teachers and people around. Oh, he's so good at his young age, it's so cool. And so it became kind of a thing that I was like, okay, I'm known for this, I should keep going. And I just, then I actually became kind of good. And at about age 11, I would say that's when I began taking it seriously. Or at least be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this more and more. Because before that I was like, yeah, I'm doing it, very much, but it's not like the only thing I do. But when I was 11, I had like a choice, and I was like, I just chose to, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get better, just keep doing it, and now we're here, I guess. So, mostly just, yeah. I have a few questions which are about what inspires me. So I have one from Jamie Lawit. I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. But new can drawers, yeah, something like that. I don't know. Can you just have easy names to pronounce? But yeah, I have a few questions about what inspires me. And what inspires me most is, of course, like other artists like Francis Bacon, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Picasso. I have another one. He's called Asger Jorn. He is a Danish artist. Here. And he's a Danish artist, and he is very abstract in his art, which in a weird way inspires me. You can see some of the, I just took away the page here. You can see it's very, dark. This is some of his drawings. But he also has some, weird paintings, just these kind of, and he is, like very old. He's a, well, he isn't alive anymore, but he did it a long time ago. So art books also, I have a lot of art books. If you want a video, showcasing the art books that I have, I will of course do that if you want to. But generally, a lot of kind of expressionistic artists and, all the way over to the completely abstract and just anything really, just in the world. If I see a person, I listen to a song, something cool comes out of there, something that does and does and do. So I try to collect inspirations from all over. But if you mean artist inspirations, there's some people there. Of course, Van Gogh and Matisse and, all these expressionists, but mostly, you get my point, I think. In a lot, I know in a lot of your videos you mention working out. I'm curious what you do for a workout. And for a workout, it really depends. Sometimes I change it up. And don't hate on me for not training that much legs, but that's just because I have pretty thick legs and it's only my calves I'm trying to grow really. Pretty thick thighs, because just genetics, I guess. But I still do a little bit of legs. So I do preacher curl. I do that, I won't say the weight because I think that's irrelevant, because you shouldn't do the same weight as me. And you shouldn't, not that I'm embarrassed at doing low weight or high weight, it depends. I don't really know if I'm just doing what fits me. Just so you know, be careful and don't ego lift too much. Preacher curl, and then I do an incline bench with dumbbells, because I like the dumbbells more. I do on the lat pull down, I do some of that. I do some tricep push downs with the straight bar, because I don't like the bar that goes like, down, and I don't like the rope that much. So I enjoy the straight bar more. I use a shoulder press machine, which I really like. And I do some things for my calves, some calf raises, pushes, I don't know what to call it. And after that I do curls with just dumbbells, because I want more specific on the curls also. And I do some squats or leg presses, it depends. If the squat rack is, in use by another person, or the leg press machine is in use by another person, I just switch it up. And then I do on chest, the chest fly. Is it called chest fly? Just a chest machine that does that. I do that. So sometimes I also do cardio after. That could be walking or running or Stairmaster or whatever. It really depends. But I don't do this every time. Most of the time I do this. But if I'm really strapped for time, but I feel like I have to do it, I can skip some things. I can take some things out. And like, especially when the things, I have 2 of those. I have 2 for chest and 2 for biceps and arms in general, which means those are the areas where I would, not do those if I were strapped for time. And of course with the leg press, since I'm not that dedicated to my my thighs, it's alright if I skip those sometimes. I know, don't skip leg day, but it's my body, so shut up. Yeah, so that's what I do. But it also changes from time to time. Sometimes I just take a random machine if I want to. Of course, knowing what it would do. Yeah. Okay, next question from the weird one, 868. Yeah. How much money would it take for you to paint my entire body? That depends how tall and wide you are. If you're a really big person in every area, it may be more expensive if you're really short and really thin, but it'll cost some money. I can't really say in general, but somewhere along the lines. Ever think about selling your sketchbooks? And the funny thing about that is I actually do. The thing I do is that I don't sell the sketchbook necessarily, but I cut out the drawing from the sketchbook and then I sell the drawing in a frame, so like, which is something I've done before. And especially most of the drawings I have in the shop where I have some of my art in another city far away. The drawings that are framed are from the sketchbook actually, so I just cut them out. And I still do this when I buy frames, but I have to kind of be sure, and also I have to be like, yeah. For me, it doesn't matter if they're in the sketchbook or in a frame. Of course, people only want to buy them in a frame, I think. I would at least only want to buy them in a frame. Yes. Right. Crouton Bade 8161. I don't... You guys got some crazy names. If you had your art displayed in a gallery, would the price be... I can't explain something else. Okay, so I think the person is, what would the price be of a painting or a drawing? And that's hard to say. It really depends mostly on the size, but also, who is purchasing it. There's a family and friends discount, because I feel like, they're more likely to purchase my art, even though I'm not famous, because, they know me and want to support me. So it should be cheaper for them, but it really depends. But mostly it's about the size of the piece, I think, is what you're asking. And yes, I've had 2 exhibitions. One in a shopping mall thing, it was an art thing close to where I went to boarding school, and the other one was at my school. But that's just because it's like, last year, end of the year stuff. I'll do one there next year also, which will be pretty wild. I think I have large plans to make something insane and something unforgettable. So that's at least what I'll try to do. Yeah. What are your gym goals? Wait, I have to read the name. Alex T 1955. What are your gym goals, and where do you want to be in 1 to 5 years time with your training? Well, my gym goals in general, I wouldn't say I don't want to be like a huge giant meathead like some of these bodybuilders who are filled with steroids and other stuff like that. I don't think that looks very good. I think in 5 years time, I'd like to get the body fat a little bit more down, but I'm also like, it's not that I feel like I'm too fat, or what can you say, like it's more because you think like these Instagram models who make their money from being shredded all the time. So yeah, I don't know, in 5 years, hopefully I'm older, I've continued to do the gym, that's one thing. The most important part for me is that like it keeps me healthy. I think it's fun, and it's very good to have more hobbies than just art. And this is a hobby that doesn't require, that much. Again, it requires I show up and do the work, of course, but it doesn't use my creative side of my brain, which I'm kind of, focusing on making art. So I kind of want another hobby to do, spend some time. And of course, it's a great hobby to have. It's very healthy, and I think everybody should be working out. You don't have to be working out to get huge and buff and all this and all that. You can just work out to be healthy, because it's good for your mental health, but it's also good for your physical health to work out, or at least use your body in some capacity. So keep on doing the same, maybe change it up a bit, and get the progression in these things. That's also the most important part. Personally, I think there's all these people talking about what's most optimal, is this and that, but if you keep on changing the things you're doing, it's gonna end up, you're not gonna progress. So the one thing I would recommend, I do personally, is I find what is a good exercise, let's say curls. I like curls, and I decide I want to get really big biceps or bigger biceps, then I have to do more curls because it hits the biceps. Makes sense. But the thing is, when someone comes along and says, oh, this type of curl is better, okay, then I change to that. But then another one comes and you go back and forth between things. But if you just stayed with the normal curl you started with, you would have gotten more and more weight on. Means you've gotten stronger, means your muscles would get bigger. That's, of course you had to eat right also and stuff like that, but you get my point. Progressive overload, which is one of the most important things for muscle growth and just, working out in general, if you want that, is just to do the same things over and over and over. And I know there's some people who don't like, doing the same 5 exercises, that's just how it is. If you want, that's the simple way of getting it, I would say. At least that's the way I do it. So I really do the same stuff most of the time. I hope that answers the question. Soda Mac Pop. My question is, do you start with an idea in your mind, or do you just get started and adapt and interpret it later? I would say I start kind of random. Sometimes I have an idea usually, I would say with the paintings, I have an idea if I want to do a portrait or a half body or a full body or whatever I want to do. I kind of have an idea there because I feel like it takes more time. With the drawings, a drawing that takes a long time could take like 20, 30 minutes, but with a painting, it can take a lot of hours. So to save time there, I just, sometimes though I don't have a plan and I just do something. But yeah, with the drawings, I just kind of do something. But that's because I usually do a portrait or a face or whatever you want to call it. Mostly because I like it, I think it's nice, but also because I'm alright at it. So I haven't challenged myself that much, but I have to do that more. And I know in the new year I want to start drawing, things from life more, I guess, and drawing and painting other things. I have kind of weird plans I want to do, but we'll see. It depends on what I feel like. There's, I can do whatever, I guess. But yeah, so sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Usually I don't kind of have an overarching idea. But sometimes I may have a pose down for a character or just, what colors I want to use. Yeah. Another question from KJZRP. Yeah. What year did you start making drawings? So technically I started when I was just a child, about 3-4 years old, I guess, technically, but I wouldn't count that. So I would say, as I said before, I remember starting to take it serious at around 11 years old, which is, pretty cool. I guess that would mean I have done this for professionally, or at least with intention of going professional, for about 8 years. But so I've been drawing and painting. I've been drawing for a long time. I've only been painting for about 5 years, I think. But most of the stuff from my drawing translated pretty well over to my paintings. So it kind of worked out pretty great. I guess I don't know, but I would say so. So yeah. I hope that answers your question. It's hard to know exactly, but I've been doing it a long time, I would say. What's your go-to beverage? And also, what are some artists that inspire you to create your work? And what music are you currently into? Yeah, from Closet Spectre 2. Well, they're really cool. They make some cool art and some cool content. Yeah. Well, I already answered my inspiration, so I'm not gonna say that again. My favorite beverage. It depends, It depends really where it's the scene. If it's just in general, I think coffee is my favorite. Just black coffee. I know that's very pretentious of me, but I really like coffee. I like I like black coffee. I think it's great. If it's like in a party setting, an alcoholic drink, I would probably say beer, because I think I know myself and what I like, and yeah, beer, I would say. Very simple, not anything crazy, but it's just I guess so. I also like other stuff, don't get me wrong. My favorite soda is Dr. Pepper, but it's hard to get in Denmark. But yeah, I guess that's what it is. And water is great too. You drink water, at least to some degree. Drink water when you're thirsty. That's a good idea. Yeah. And what music have I been into currently? Well, I actually just got 3 vinyls. I haven't got them yet. I purchased them, but I've been trying to get more into the Beatles, because they're pretty well known band. So I got a little bit of Ram by Paul McCartney, which is a great album. I really like it. And I got Brainwashing by George Harrison, which is another really great album. So it's not necessarily the Beatles albums, but it's the guys who were the Beatles, or at least some of the guys who were the Beatles. But yeah, of course, I just like 70s music. I'm a really huge fan of The Doors, like insane, some people would say, and I guess that kind of translates to it too, like just 70s, 60s, 70s music, like Bob Dylan too, stuff like that. So yeah, but you know, there's a lot of music I like, but I would say in genres I like folk and I like kind of quiet rock, which is, you know, just not any heavy death metal stuff. That's not for me. I have listened to that before. I was like, "Oh, it's so cool." But not really. It doesn't sound, personally, it doesn't sound that great. But yeah, it's just, you know, I guess stuff like that. And other music, of course, it really depends. Yeah. From page 2, I think it's page. It looks like page. Why do you draw faces? Are they self-portraits? Right. Why do I draw faces? Well, it's something I've been doing for a while. I think it's an important part of, you know, being human. I think the face, it's like, you know, how you see people, how you see the world, how the world sees you, I guess. And I've just been doing it for a long time and I like it and I know what to do, and I think that's the kind of the, you know, if I have to draw something, I would draw a face, definitely, because it's just kind of automatic for my body or for my hands, compared to maybe drawing something else which would take a little bit more brain power but would still be doable, I guess. But yeah, so I like it, I guess. I don't know if that's a good answer, but I do. What was the other one? It was something. Yeah. Are they self-portraits? No, not everything. Some of them are, but I think, like, when you're an artist specifically, there's something of yourself in every painting or drawing you make, or sculpture or whatever. There's something of you, because it's your experiences that guide your hands and your thoughts and your ideas. So there's a part of you in your art. And you know, there's a part of me in my art and there's a part of just randomness. But, you know, it may be a self-portrait and it may not be, but overall there's still a part of me in it, I guess. At least, I think so. Yeah. That's at least what I think about that. Yeah. That's actually the last question. I don't know if people have other questions about me, but yeah. I'll begin answering the questions in the comments now, because I'm not gonna wait another, you know, large amount of subscribers before answering this time. Yeah. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you a whole lot for the questions and especially for the subscribers. It means the world to me. Like, you guys have no idea. That's just, it's super cool. Oh, 1,000 people, it's insane. Like, I don't even know 1,000 people in real life, guys. Like, it's crazy. I remember I hit it yesterday, and I remember just kind of screaming and running down the stairs, because I have a room upstairs, to my mom, and like, "Mom, I did it." Mom, I fucking did it. Like, it's really cool. And yeah, I think it's awesome. Just want to thank you guys a lot. It means the world to me. And I hope you have a really nice day or night whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next video.